Hello, 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 hello. How's it going, people? Welcome to the stream. Welcome, 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 welcome. Arsenal are into semi-finals of the Champions League. Only third time in our history we are into semi-finals of the Champions League. And boy, oh boy, I'm not gonna lie, I'm hella happy. To say the least, I'm hella happy. The way it all turned out, the way we played at Emirates, the way we played at Bernabéu, everything was phenomenal. We did a double over Real Madrid. 3-0 at home, 2-1 away. Fantastic showing. And now we are off to face PSG into semi-finals, of course. And that's gonna be a completely different task. I'm not gonna lie, that's gonna be much, much tougher if you can imagine so. But overall, you know how it goes. 5-1 on aggregate. 5-1 on aggregate. You know the drill. You know the song. I've got 5 on it. And all that stuff. Can we play you every week? It felt like light work. Absolutely annihilated Real Madrid. Didn't give them a chance at the Emirates. Didn't give them a chance at Bernabeu. Because let's be real, the biggest thing that was all this PR Real Madrid pushed out. Everything they tried, the PR, remontada, everything that they tried, the videos and everything, the hype, it's Bernabeu, different things, and it meant nothing. Genuinely, it was remontada to do nada at the end of the day. It was remontada and Arsenal did the tada to them and it was done and dusted. So today we're gonna talk about that, all that good stuff, and of course towards the end part of the stream we're gonna talk about some transfers. If you're excited and if you are happy that Arsenal won, destroyed, annihilated, humiliated, blitzed Real Madrid, smash the like button, smash it, destroy it, caress it, just hit it. Helps a lot, helps the algorithm and everything. And if you haven't already as well, subscribe. Aiming for 500 subscribers as soon as possible. We are on 447 currently, so hoping to hit that, let's just say, by the end of May. But yeah, leave your thoughts down in the live chat below. But of course, 2-1. Light work, 5-1 on aggregate. It was a fantastic showing. Big up Nathan. Big up Kivior in Champions League Team of the Week. A thing you thought never you would say, let's be real, because if Gabriel was fit, he would never get a chance. And I know it's been only like a few games, but to some extent, Kivior has made a very, very, very strong case to not get sold. Let's just put it that way. Let's just say it as it is what it is. Very strong, very formidable performance. Quite fantastic to look at, I'm not gonna lie. And it was fantastic to say the least. Exactly, the Polish wall. And to be honest, we conceded 1 goal against Real Madrid. And even that was like a Easter egg gift egg or something, golden egg. Like basically we gave them a free pass and everything. That was absolutely insane to say the least. But yeah, that was phenomenal to watch. 2-1 at Emirates. Emirates. Bernabeu. 5-1 on aggregate. Absolute annihilation. Real Madrid had way more possession, but it means nothing. Let's be real. As Arsenal fans, we definitely know that it means nothing. Because almost every single game where we draw or we lose, we have the most possession. And let's be real, we do nothing with it. So he was absolutely insane. Nobody didn't believe you. Let's be real. Kivior predominantly plays as a left back for Arsenal. And everyone is judging him as a left back, not as a center back. Because he has played, I would say, a handful of games as a center back for Arsenal, and pretty much every single game he has cost us goals. And that's why there were doubts. But after these 2 Champions League performances, oh boy, is that bittersweet. And I'm happy to be proved wrong. I'm happy to be proved wrong. And the best part is, we didn't miss Gabriel. That's how mad it is. One of our biggest worries defensively, specifically with Gabriel going out, is what we're gonna do against Madrid. How it's gonna go, what's gonna happen. And with Kivior stepped in, we actually didn't miss him. We Never even thought of that we don't have Gabriel at center back to some extent. That's how nuts it is. Exactly. That's the biggest thing. Center back is his position. But this, what's its face? Arteta, right? Wants to play him as a left back. That's why all the criticism comes for. He plays out of position. And to some extent, I could make the same argument for Calafiori. Because for me, center back is his position as well. He's not a left back. Same goes for Zinchenko. Why Zinchenko gets all the criticism for me, from most of Arsenal fans and everything? Because he plays as a fucking left back. We don't want to see him as a left back. He is a number 10, maybe a number 8. He is not a left back. That's why all the criticism is coming. Same goes for Partey. We talk about Partey playing right back. Nobody wants to see that. Let's be real. His best position is midfield. But hey, it is what it is. We played PSG in semi-finals, the scariest team right now. You could say that, but at the same time, if this quarterfinal showed anything, it was that Barcelona are not as nuts as people want to believe to think, because Borussia Dortmund at Borussia Park played them off the park. And same goes also for PSG. People said that PSG is the top of the top teams, one of the top teams, one of the favorites, right? At the same time, Villa got them shook and shaking, trembling, genuinely peeing their pants in their boots and everything at Villa Park. And Emery screwed up. There's no argument about that. Emery screwed up by taking off Rashford in that game. I'm going to say it as it is. Emery screwed up by taking off Rashford. Because Rashford was cooking every single time. Hakimi, Marquinhos, everyone there. And this quarterfinal, showed that even when you think that Barcelona are the favorites, potentially, PSG could be one of the favorites, they can be gone at. Let's be real. There is no argument about that. And that's why I don't want to say that they are the scariest team. To be honest, to get to semi-finals even in Champions League, you have to be good. Like, there is no hiding in that position. You have to be good. Kvara, Desiree, Doué, Dembele, Barcola, goddamn, right? Dude, we said the same thing about Mbappe, Vinicius, Rodrigo. Yes, Real Madrid suck, but it is what it is. For me, the thing is, we played the first game late April, right? In 2 weeks or so. 20-something. When we played the first game against PSG. Let's check this. Arsenal schedule. We play PSG. First game against PSG at the Emirates is on the 29th of April, right? Main thing is to get to that game without injuries. Because one of the biggest problems in general for Arsenal currently at the Emirates, right, is the fact that we don't have Partey because of his stupidity. That is the biggest issue. Partey getting the second yellow in a necessary position and situation. He let emotions get the best of him. And even Declan Rice almost punched him out in a way on the pitch when he saw that Partey got a yellow. So, hey, we need to decide and figure out how to replace Partey. For one game, obviously, but we have dealt with that also for a whole season. So, I hope we're going to find something, because Jorginho looks like he's going to be out for a bit. So, hey, big up Kwame, big up my guy. We're almost there. Last night was beginning of something special. Yeah, I'm not going to lie. I'm starting to believe. I have a dream. I genuinely have a bloody dream. And this is kind of nuts if you think about it. I am actually starting to believe that Arsenal could do it. Because many times in Champions League history, or almost every single time, the team that eliminates Real Madrid in elimination stages, quarterfinals, semifinals, stuff like that, wins the Champions League. In Bayern Allianz Arena Stadium, Munich Stadium, right? Mostly, there's a new Champions League winner getting crowned. So, hey, I'm not saying anything, but we definitely are within a shot. 3 more games. We have 3 games, and the best part is we don't actually need to win all 3. If we beat PSG at home or away with better result than we in the other leg, we are still in the final. So There is definitely something going there. Yeah, Martinelli was nuts. He was, for the full 90 plus minutes, he was running up and down the field, up and down the field, and he outdid a fresh Fran Garcia who came on as a sub. That was insane. And to be honest, it was trademark Martinelli finish. I hope that he's getting his boots on. He's getting his shooting boots on, because let's be real. Martinelli has picked up his form in the best time possible, and so can be said about Declan Rice. Let's just say it as it is, because last year against Bayern Munich, he was one of the guys who were definitely the black sheep of the game. But this season, yes, he has been somewhat average during season the moments, but towards specifically this point, he's picking up the form. And that is something you love to see. Give it. Declan Rice, 2 medals in Europe, Europa League with West Ham and Champions League with Arsenal. What a player, yeah. Wait, West Ham won Conference League, not Europa League. Or am I tripping? Yeah, they won Conference League. Hey, yo, don't mix those up, though. Don't mix those two things up. 2 different competitions. Conference League. So, he is doing, like, Champions League with Arsenal, dude. That's already foreseeing the future. PSG has destroyed every team they played in Champions League with their prime UCL attack. You would think so. You would think so, but let's be real. Attack isn't everything. Let's just put it that way. Attack isn't everything. And I have belief in our defense. Let's be real. Skelly, Saliba, Timber, especially Timber as well, and Kivior as well to some extent right now. I trust them. I genuinely trust them to do the job. It's not like a situation where I look at the defensive line and I think, maybe, I don't know. I actually trust them. I actually trust them to do the job. So it will be interesting to see. PSG attack right now is the closest thing to MSN. To be honest, to some extent, Luis Enrique at PSG has built his own little or mini Barcelona. Think about it, like MSN, Kvara, Dembele, Barcola, for example. The Iniesta, Busquets, Xavi, he has Vitinha, Neves, and Fabian Ruiz. His Hakimi is his Dani Alves, right, and stuff like that. Donnarumma is arguably you could argue Donnarumma is the weakest point in the team, right? At the same time, against Villa, he was the reason why they actually got through. Because let's be real, without Donnarumma, PSG should have gone out, because Aston Villa should have scored a bit, like 2-3 more goals at Villa Park. Same goes for Borussia Dortmund, by the way. When they played at Borussia Park as well against Signal Iduna Park, they played against Barcelona. They also should have scored 2-3 more, and both games would have gone to extra time at least. We have already beaten PSG. Dude, you see, Kwame, we have done this, but at that time when we beat them, Dembele wasn't with the team because he was being a prat with Enrique and PSG, so he was left at home. And they didn't have Kvaratskhelia, those 2 players, first of all. And second of all, they were not in the best of forms. They qualified as 14th or 15th best team. So they are picking up form at the best of times. Plus, they already have won League E, which means they can afford to rotate and rest players for the Champions League as well. So they are in a very peculiar situation in that regard. Similar like Arsenal, just on a different scale. Hakimi has 20 GA as a right back. I know, he's Dani Alves. Like, let's be real. In Champions League, you have to worry, but at the same time, it is what it is. In these stages, in quarterfinals, semifinals, and stuff like that, you can only play what's in front of you. And if you beat them, cool. If you don't, well, sucks to be you. At the end of the day, let's just say it as it is. So let's see how that goes at the moment. Let's see how that goes. If we get cocky, we did when we beat City, we got destroyed right after, and don't want that ever happen again. God for yeah, I get that. I totally get that. Just like have some humility and some respect as well in that regard, because many Arsenal fans just have zero respect towards other teams. Let's just put it that way. Big up Nathan. Just shut down Vitinha and they will struggle. To be honest, we need to shut down them quite a bit. That. We can try shut down Vitinha, but that is not it in general. Let's just put it that way. At the same time, we can do this. Let's be real, we can do this. Credit where credit is due for Mikel Arteta. As much as we suck in Premier League, in Champions League, he has been quite phenomenal. People may say the style suits Arsenal a bit more, and everything, it's not low blocks every single game, and everything, and there is truth to that. There obviously is truth to that, but in these games, you go pretty much against best of the best. Let's just put it that way, right? Because it is what it is, and that's how it goes. And Mikel Arteta against Ancelotti totally outcoached him on both games as well, at Emirates and Bernabéu. So credit where credit is due to Mikel Arteta. He has done in the Champions League quite fantastic job. Because that is one of the things that really, really bothered me going in Champions League. But currently, he's slowly but steadily erasing the doubts. Let's just say it as it is. And to some extent, I'm actually believing that we actually can win Champions League. I believe we can do this. The question is, will we do this? Because believing and doing it are two completely different things. And currently, as much as I believe, I still have doubts. I still have reservations, I'm not gonna lie. But at the same time, I think we can do it. If we do things correctly. I have confidence we can win both legs against PSG. I will say this, without Partey in the first leg, it will be a bit tough, but I think we can do this. We definitely don't need to do that. Definitely we don't. Villa did it, and we did it in the league phase. Yeah, but that was a different PSG. They sucked in the league phase, as I said. They qualified as 14th or 15th team out of 16, out of 24. So definitely there is some element. And plus they didn't have Dembele then because he was left at France because he was being a prat, and they didn't have Kvaratskhelia. They were not in good form. And at the moment, as I said, they have one champion Ligue 1, they have won the French league, so they can rotate, they can raise, they can pretty much solely focus on Champions League currently. That is their advantage in that regard. But I'm not worried about Patron. Yeah, definitely. Partey and Rice won't play, so win. Why Rice won't play? Where did you pull that one out? In which universe Declan Rice won't play? Only Partey won't play the first leg. Declan Rice is all fine. Champions League is a different story, and that is the biggest thing. The style maybe suits Arsenal more. Arteta can actually play some different situations, different plans for the games he can make, different strategies, and it's actually working, as we saw against Real Madrid. But ultimately, we cannot underestimate anyone. Luis Enrique is a phenomenal manager, let's be real. And he has built his own mini Barcelona at PSG, and it will be very interesting to see how we face up against them for the second time. Because for me, there is the thing. For me personally, how my coach when I was playing was saying in the tournament specifically after group stages, good teams and great teams don't lose back-to-back games against the same team in the same tournament. And what he meant by that, great teams don't lose, for example, in group stages, and then, for example, in semifinals or quarterfinals or the final. Good teams actually figure out a way how to beat you on the second, because they don't want to have that hanging over their heads. So we can be confident, but we still need to have respect and be cautious to some extent. We are also only focused on... Yeah, we are. To some extent we are, but Mikel Arteta is still going to play. The thing is, PSG can rotate. We cannot. That is our biggest issue. Whether you want to say this or not, we cannot rotate. We have issues in that regard. Miles Lewis Skelly should cover parts in midfield. That is the biggest debate. I was having this debate in group chat. I was having this debate on other streams and everything with viewers, with streamers and everything. And basically, there are not that many options what we can do, let's be real, in that midfield. Because there are, I think, 2 or 3 options only we can do. Since, what's its face? Jorginho is still injured and it looks like he has a cracked or broken rib, which means he is out, let's be real. Well, that means we have nobody to play in the midfield. So either we put Rice in the 6 and Zinchenko in the 8, or we put, I don't know, Rice in the 6 or 8, or we play double pivot, however you want to look at it. Miles Lewis Skelly in the midfield and Tierney as a left back, which for me would be kind of bad decision in that regard, potentially. Or we put Merino back in the midfield and put Trossard as the striker. The biggest issue for me with Trossard and Merino is that Merino in midfield sucks. That is straight up forward. That is the biggest thing. Merino in midfield sucks. That for me is the biggest thing. So he's a striker. He has been 10 times better than other ones. He has been better striker than a midfielder. So I kind of don't want to make that switch as well. So definitely there are some definite different questions left to be asked and answered in that regard. We need to talk on Merino. Merino has been amazing. Against Real Madrid, we scored 3 goals from open play, and all 3 goals Merino took part. At Emirates, he scored a phenomenal finish, and in Bernabéu, he assisted on both goals, and both were quite fantastic assists as well, mind you. So definitely there is definitely some questions to be asked about this. I've been singing his praises in Chelsea game. Merino is better up front. And that is the biggest thing. We have signed 2 midfielders combined for 110 million, where at the end, they both are better at striker. And ironically enough, a guy who has never played as a striker is much better than a guy who has been playing forward positions his whole life. So it's a bit of a weird one, but hey, it is what it is, I guess. Yeah, Merino won the pen as well. Merino is a quite fantastic form as a striker, and that is beautiful to see, I'm not gonna lie. How many goals has got Merino? Yeah, 8 goals, 5 assists for Merino, and I think I think Merino, specifically in the second part of the season, right, has about since January basically, has about 10 goals and something like that. So Merino since January, right? Merino since January has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 goals, 6 goals. Merino has 6 goals since January. Basically 6 goals and 7 goals and 1, 2, 3, 4 assists. Basically since we were linked with a striker. He's doing, if we signed a striker like that in January per se, we would say he's having fantastic debut at Arsenal. Fantastic start in his Arsenal for a career as a striker, right? At the same time, no, it's Merino, which is kind of ironic, but we have to give him props for what he's doing. Yeah, Merino is better than Havertz, ironically enough. Nah, screw Havertz. Inter are favorites for me. Yeah, Inter for me. I think the one thing that gives Inter the edge in this regard is they know how to grind out the games. Because they can shut you out completely and then just hit you on counters, and they have finishers who can finish the job. Other teams, other teams, Barcelona and PSG in this regard, they are much more attacking, and defensively they lack quite a bit of stuff, right? Arsenal are the dark horses still in this somehow, but hey, it is what it is. And what I mean by dark horses is that Nobody knows what to expect. Yes, we beat Real Madrid, fantastic. That definitely will take everyone by storm. It will put us on the map and everything in this regard. But we know what Inter is all about. We know what Barcelona is all about. And we know what PSG is all about. And when I watch Arsenal, it's very confusing and mix and match type of situation where I kind of cannot figure out we are more defensive or more attacking. It depends on situation and everything, which kind of is very good and very bad at the same time. So that's that. Okay, 2-1. Let's look at some players. I'm not gonna get into every player. I'm not gonna give too many ratings and everything. I just wanna talk about a few players. Declan Rice, first things first, man of the match. That's for me, man of the match for the game and everything. And he actually won the Champions League man of the match, and he won back-to-back Champions League man of the matches as a midfielder, by the way. That is a phenomenal achievement on its own, let's just put it that way. Mosley Skelly, 18-year-old and everything, phenomenal. Genuinely phenomenal. Timber, arguably top 3 right back in the world right now. And given the situation that he has just come back from ACL injury, has played throughout the whole season and everything without substitutes pretty much whatsoever almost, and everything, and the way he shut down Vinicius Jr., who is pretty much almost nobody can shut down and everything. I would say that Jurrien Timber is top 3 right back in the world right now. Because he's very good defensively, he's very strong, he's very fast, and he also is very decent going forward. So he's like the complete package in that regard. So I would say he's one of those. What else? Saka, decent performance on one leg, did everything pretty much again. Missed the penalty, which really pissed me off. The Panenka penalty really got on my nerves, I'm not gonna lie. That was one thing I really didn't understand. And even if you Panenka, then you better Panenka down the middle, not on the side. Because if you Panenka on the side, bigger chance it's gonna get saved. That was one of those stupid decisions, I think. And it's not the first time in high pressure situations he has missed a penalty, right? But at the same time, he kind of rectified his mistake by chipping Courtois a bit later on and making it 1-0 Arsenal. Martinelli. I must say, in the last 2 months, it looks like he's picking up form, and that is something nice to see. In prime time, when you need him the most, obviously maybe not as much in Premier League, but specifically Champions League, we're given our run currently, he's peaking at the very right time. If we can add even on top of that, get even more dangerous, more direct, he can score more, that definitely will help us a lot out more, because against Hakimi, it's not going to be easy for him, let's be real. But Hakimi tends to go forward quite a bit, which means Martinelli will have to track back. But at the same time, Martinelli is also quick enough, in my opinion, to hit on counters. 100% to hit on counters. And then again, the ball is going to be on our court, whether Hakimi can recover, can Marquinhos cover his side if necessary. So definitely. Thomas Partey, again, another fantastic performance, I'm not going to lie. The only thing he did that really pisses me off is the yellow card. Couldn't hold on he couldn't hold in his emotions. That's what one thing pissed me off. Otherwise, great job. Kivior, fantastic, giving him an 8 out or 9 out of 10. Came in, solid performance and everything. Nobody expected that, let's be real. And it has worked in our favor. And to some extent, we don't even miss Gabriel. So that is quite fantastic. Actually, that is quite phenomenal. That if you think that when Gabriel went down injured, it was announced he's out till the next season, it pretty much put Arsenal fans in a very interesting state and position where they thought that season is over in every way, shape, or form. Right? And now that Kivior has stepped in, it's actually kind of nuts that, at least against Real Madrid for now, we didn't miss Gabriel. Ironically enough, we didn't miss Gabriel, as mad as it sounds. But hey, live and learn, live and improve, and live and digress, I guess. Saliba, Like, I guess Saliba got bored on the pitch, so he allowed Vinicius to tackle him. But ultimately, this goal is basically on Raya and Saliba, because Raya purposely threw the ball to Saliba. Obviously, it's on Saliba partially that he didn't scout the situation. He didn't know. He wasn't aware of his surroundings. At the same time, other players should be talking and saying him that Vinicius is right on his tail. So it's kind of a mix and match of bad decisions and bad situations with no accountability. But hey, it is what it is. Maybe, just maybe, Saliba did that on purpose, just so show Florentino Perez that Saliba is not moving. He is not too bad. He's not bad. He's not good, sorry, and he's not Real Madrid quality, you know, on purpose. Yeah, it depends how you look at it, because the way I see this, Raya has the perfect chance to oversee the whole pitch, right? He can see the attack, the defense, the midfield, how opposing side is basically setting up to defend when he has the ball and everything. I get that he made a few steps towards Saliba, threw the ball to Saliba, and Saliba is, I would say, 90% at fault for the fact that he wasn't aware of his surroundings, that Vinicius so easily shoved him off the ball and everything. But the one thing I'm gonna put on on Raya in this regard is the fact that he threw the ball to Saliba very well, seeing that Vinicius is right on his tail pretty much. And if that is the case, then at least he should have communicated with Saliba that Vinicius is straight pressing him, or pass the ball back, I'm gonna go long. Obviously, it also begs the question why he didn't go long in the first place, but that's a completely different situation and question to be answered, right? So for me, partially a bit, it is on Raya as well. Because he also, just like Saliba, should be aware of the situation and surroundings in that regard. Obviously, it depends how you look at it, but I also look at it as a goalkeeper standpoint of view, because that was one of the things. I wasn't a goalkeeper, right? But I was standing in goal a few times when I was playing, and what sorry, one of the main things that coach was telling me, always communicate and always be aware what is the situation and see where you throw your ball or kick the ball, because if opponent is pressing you, it's gonna be very easy to basically dispossess you when the player you throw the ball to has the back against him and he's facing towards you. So I partially put it on Raya, but it is what it is. It depends how people look at it, I guess. I think Saliba has Real Madrid in his mind that allowed him to give Real Madrid an equal. Maybe. Saliba just assumed. See, in Champions League against Real Madrid, you cannot assume. When you assume, you're just an idiot. Let's be real, in these situations you cannot assume. You either are switched on or you're switched off. Like, that for me is the biggest thing. You either are fully in or fully out. There is no in between at the end of the day. And luckily we were not in a position where that goal basically could have cost us something, right? But if it was that situation, that would be the end of the earth for everyone, let's be real. But yeah, Arsenal, phenomenal performance, I'm not gonna lie, not gonna cap. It was quite fantastic to watch, to look and everything. Now we are playing against PSG. And I'm quite intrigued what Mikel Arteta in this regard is gonna do with that midfield, given the Partey's secondary yellow and that he's suspended. That for me is the biggest question. And can we avoid injuries for 2 games not to get injured? Because we still have to play Palace and Ipswich. We play Ipswich next, and then we play Palace for me. Yeah, that is also the case. That for me is the biggest thing. He has no changes. He has nobody to change. And that for me is the biggest issue in that regard. One player I didn't talk about. Where is it? Where is that dumbass? This guy. Oh, bloody hell. I don't know what to say about him. But F me, I'm not gonna lie. F bloody me, because that was absolutely embarrassing. That was embarrassing. That was pathetic. And that should not be the captain's performance. Genuinely. That should not be captain's performance. Martin Odegaard was absolutely embarrassing. Cannot stand just watching him. Like, I don't know if it's the armband that's weighing him down or the pressure or what, but he cannot even pass properly these days. If you basically just sit down and even for 5 minutes or 3 minutes during the game, right, when we have the possession, strictly focus on what Odegaard is doing. Only on Odegaard, because obviously with your peripheral vision you're gonna see the ball, the camera also follows the ball, right? If you especially watch it on TV, just watch at Odegaard. If he goes out of the shot, you more or less know where he is, right? Because it's not like he's gonna be at the other end of the pitch. So you just focus on him, and you can see that he takes way too many touches, he slows down the play, he misplaces passes, he always plays the safe pass, never risks anything. And the one thing that pisses me off the most is the fact that, for example, he gives the ball to Rice, to Martinelli, to Merino, to Saka, to someone, then goes himself by his own thoughts and physically behind two defenders, then opens his arms and says, pass me the ball. Are you an idiot? Seriously. Are you a bloody moron? How can somebody pass you the goddamn ball when you're sitting behind two defenders? Like, where does that make any sense whatsoever? And I was watching this during Real Madrid game yesterday, and that happened about 5-6 times. And when the ball went out of the play, or we lost the possession, he gets pissed off. Well, it's your fault that you not run into open space to get the ball, isn't it? Not just when you give the ball and run behind defenders and then complain that nobody's passing you the ball because it's physically impossible because you're getting covered by two people. The passing lane in general, or yourself, your man mark. Like, make it make sense. And then, of course, every single 2 minutes, 1 minute, every single time. It's like he cannot afford hair gel at home. Always the snot in his hair. Just pisses me off. He should not be the captain. And if I was Andrea Berta, I would look for a replacement for Martin Odegaard. Kid you not. Midfield should be Rice, Skelly and Odegaard against PSG. Maybe. Although I much rather see Skelly as a left back. Let's be real. He's played whole season there and he hasn't played in midfield almost whatsoever. He inverted himself. That shot had me so mad. I could see his angles were wrong, and of course he missed. Of course, like, it's Odegaard, it's pillow foot. What did you expect? Oh dear guard. It's not Odegaard, it's oh dear guard. Yeah, that was. Apparently, he might face 4-game ban as well for that. Put the armband in the bag. Yeah, just give it to Rice. Most likely Rice, I guess, but it is what it is. Give it to Rice. That's it. Just take off the captaincy of him because, let's be real, he is not the guy. 100%. Strip him right now. Strip him right now of the captaincy. Too soon for Oziak. I can see Gabriel being the captain. Issue with Gabriel is he doesn't speak too much English. Still, by the way. Still to this day, he doesn't speak too much English. And Declan Rice feels more of a leader. In the last, let's just say, month and a half, he has emerged more as a leader. I remember about 2.5 months ago, we had this discussion on this stream as well, whether the next captain should be Rice or Gabriel, and we were quite some bit shifting towards Gabriel, right? Despite the fact that he doesn't speak English too much, apparently. But in the last month and a half, Declan Rice really has emerged as a proper leader on the pitch, vocally, and he's leading by example as well. So I would actually give it to Declan Rice to some extent. Arteta and Brahim had a talk at the end. Moves are being made. The conspiracy theories, you know, the conspiracy theories begin. When I say something about Odegaard, the top gunners say leave him alone. Yeah, basically. Odegaard doesn't play good because, name your example. He's cold, he's distracted, sun is not out and sun is not shining, it's too warm, he has a kid. It's like he had the kid. He's breastfeeding him or something. Like, it's basically that. That's how they treat him. Like, it's fucking dumb as hell. Our past captains, McClintock, Ball, Rice, Sampson, Adams, Hatcher didn't give up or make it. Yeah, exactly. Any captain we have had over the years, maybe Gallas who cried on the pitch, that was kind of embarrassing, I'm not gonna lie. But I'm not gonna lie, Odegaard kinda, in my opinion, is one of the worst captains we have had. That's what it is. And like, based on the games against Madrid specifically, where he should be one of the guys who basically elevates the team and leads by example, I don't see why he gets paid 240,000 a week. For what? What does he do to earn 240,000 grand? Like, what? I just cannot figure it out. From January, Odegaard has been shit. It's not even a little improvement. He's been awful all season, but he's been extra awful since coming back from that injury. That's the word. That's the thing. From him, you can't take away class, but Odegaard never had it in the first place. That's the thing. If you watch these charity games, right, sometimes you see Andrea Pirlo, Kaká, those guys still playing. They look better than Odegaard, for fuck's sake, and they're retired about a decade ago. Like, make that make sense. He has no defense breaking passes. Yeah, no defense breaking passes, no risky tactical passes. He shies away from 50-50 balls. He shies away from contact. He backs out of challenges. If he's the content, he should be leading by example. Only example is him showing is basically how to be a wuss. That's the only example he's showing. Goals, nothing. He just kicks the ball and move, run, and like... well, that's what 240 grand gets you a week these days. Like, that's the nuts part. Of course, this image was a thing of beauty, wasn't it? This image was a thing of beauty when Bukayo Saka scored. He pulled out a Thierry Henry. He scored a goal and shushed the Bernabéu. And to be honest, Martinelli did the same thing as well. That's also him. Merino has a better final ball than him, yeah. Zinchenko as well. Zinchenko has played for us as a 10-2 games in recent times. PSV and Everton. Brentford, against Brentford and against PSV. In those two games, he has done better and he has done more than Odegaard has done basically since he's back from injury. That's how mad it is. Manchester City's goalkeeper Ederson, right, has the same amount of assists as Martin Odegaard. Oh, but he's our creative spark. A goalkeeper has the same amount of assists as our number 10. Like, how embarrassing is that? Class is permanent, but that's the biggest thing, yeah. Yeah, Martinelli as well. Yeah. That was a class thing from Bukayo Saka, I'm not gonna lie. I loved it, absolutely. Declan Rice won man of the match from UEFA as well, by the way, not just from our fan base, but also from UEFA, so big up to him. This is the image. This is one of the images. This is one of the starting images of today's stream. Where is it? This one. This is how Real Madrid players were. That's how they played. That's the best part. Can you figure each one out? Who is who? This is one of the best images I have seen today on social. Nah, respect Courtois. Respect Courtois, you know. How the fuck does this make sense? Like, how does he not have 94 pace on FIFA 89 too? Well, it's EA, it's relative. EA doesn't make sense. It is what it is. I've been playing FIFA or EFC since FIFA 98, and one thing you can take for sure, EA doesn't make sense. And take it as it is and just go with the flow, basically. I'm not gonna lie, Courtois has been done a bit dirty here. Not gonna lie, Courtois has been done a bit a bit dirty here. Modric looks hella weird, I'm not gonna lie. Modric looks like, I don't know, like a guy who has his own antique shop or something. Something like that. It's kind of nuts. Yeah, Odegaard definitely is not up to it. You would think that the 2 games against his ex-club, you know, a club which he got basically kicked out from as a failed wonder kid, he would have a point to prove. You would think that. But he did nothing. He genuinely did nothing. Luca Benitez. Holy crap, Luca Benitez. Oh my goodness gracious. Courtois has been done a bit dirty, I'm not gonna lie. Vinicius looks hella weird. Bellingham looks like a college student, basically, in that image. He looks like a college student. But yeah, that is one of the images. And of course, the other image that circulated around the social media is this one. Let me put this here. And this one. This is the other image. This is the best one. Rice cooking at the Bernabéu. That image is the best one. But yeah, this image alone with these players, it's actually kind of nuts what they have made up. But yeah, anyhow, Miles Lewis Skelly, obviously we talked about him. He was phenomenal for an 18-year-old. He didn't allow anything to phase him whatsoever, but he won 100% aerial duels. 100% successful dribbles, 83% pass accuracy, 80% ground duels won, 5 clearances, 4 recoveries. That is actually nuts. Which picture? Which picture do you need? Which one is it? Which one with the rice? You think this one? With rice? Or what? This is what Carlo Ancelotti said, apparently. Mikel Arteta has revealed that Carlo Ancelotti told him after the game that he hopes that Arsenal win Champions League this season. Well, from your words to God's ear, I guess. This is the weird... This is why why Arsenal fans are genuinely an emotional mess every single bloody day. This is the prime example why we are an emotional mess every single bloody day as an Arsenal fan base. Because you look, we drew against Brentford, drew against Everton, we lose to Fulham and teams like that, or drew against Fulham, lose to West Ham's and all this stuff, right? And then all of a sudden we beat Real Madrid on 2 games in a row. Like make it make sense. But we are that team, I guess. Yeah, Mbappe was in tears. Rudiger as well, if I'm not mistaken. Exactly, let's enjoy it. We've been incredible in the Champions League. Exactly, let's go all the way. Let's go all the way. Exactly, amen to that. Let's go all the way. Let's see the armpits at the end of the Champions League campaign. On to some transfer news occasionally. Nothing much to talk about. I'm just going to say it as it is. Nothing much to talk about. Yeah, true, but at least we are not 13th. Miguel Gutierrez is attracting attention for the summer. One English club fighting for European qualification has shown interest. Well, obviously it's not Arsenal. While several Italian teams are monitoring the Girona left back. Remember when we were linked with Miguel Gutierrez? As a left back option, I actually wouldn't be too annoyed if we signed him. He actually is a very good left back. He's on 6,000 a week as well only, so it means we can get him on cheap potentially, obviously. Yeah, he's an underrated left back. 100% he is underrated. Only because he plays for Girona. Why only we shopping in La Liga? Well, I guess maybe we get a discount. Maybe it's some sort of a buy one get one free type of deal, or you need to like fill up the accumulator where you buy 5 players and then you get, I don't know, paella bag of paellas for free or something. I don't know. But I think it's mostly because of Arteta is Spanish, all that crap. Just like Wenger, he was French, and we signed quite a bit French players. But I think Andrea Berta as well. It's interesting that with Andrea Berta, we still haven't been linked with too many in Serie A players. But given the fact that Andrea Berta has spent over a decade in La Liga, it's not also surprised we are linked with some La Liga players. By the way, we are not linked with him. I'm putting him out here, and I want to talk about him because I wanted him last summer as well. Arsenal also wanted him last summer. They didn't sign him. And at the moment, it looks like he might be on the move, right? And if we need a left back and we cannot get Jarell Hatoy, right? I wouldn't be against getting him. I wouldn't want Arsenal to sign him. I wouldn't be against that. That for me is the big thing. That's what I'm saying. That's basically what I'm saying. We are not linked with him. Nobody cares. Speaking of defenders, since everyone wants to talk about defenders and crap like that, Arsenal have been looking for a youthful centre-back addition for some time, allegedly. They were previously interested in Vitorius. Obviously, that didn't work out. Obviously, now of Man City, and have since turned their attention to Dean Huijsen. Mikel Arteta also values Premier League experience very highly. And to be honest, one of the biggest things for me is the fact that we need to sign some Premier League proven players. Because I'm sick and tired, right? I'm very sick and tired of this situation where we sign someone from outside the Premier League and then all the top gooners gather up in a crowd and start to say, oh, but it's his first season. Give him time. He needs time to adjust to the climate, to the pitches, to the physicality, to the league. Either you're good or you're shit at the end of the day. Let's be real. If you're not good enough, get the hell out of the club. Let's just say it as it is. I wish we shopped more in Premier League, because that would at least give us some chance with players instantly hitting some form, not getting like instantly injured, or they cannot deal with the physicality like Fabio Vieira didn't do it and everything. It's hella pissing me off. Nico Williams, Martin Zubimendi. I don't think so. I think we're gonna sign 2 of those. Who? I'm kinda reluctant to say currently. I'm okay on Huijsen for that. Huijsen's about what, 50 million, something like that. That is the thing. That's my... Yeah, I get that. I get there. Yeah, Huijsen's decent. Bournemouth have dropped off a bit, I'm not gonna lie, but hey, it is what it is at the end of the day. Bournemouth are in a very interesting situation. Kivior was fantastic. We talked about that. See, Nathan, if you are on Twitter, right, go to Arsenal Harmony with a Y in the with the I in the end, and you will find this tweet. That's where I got it from. Rice cooking. You will find it there if you have Twitter. It's also on Instagram, I've seen. And I think there's somewhere. Maybe in Google Images as well you can find it. Just put Rice in this Bernabéu and it will find it. Maybe something like that. It is on there. Apparently, according to football.london, so this is like a sort of a yellow page story, I'm not gonna lie, but hey, it is what it is. Arsenal transfer news live, Nico Victor Gyökeres. This is more not about Gyökeres and stuff like that, but it's more about the situation of Brentford defender Nathan Collins. Apparently, Arsenal are eyeing up a potential move for Nathan Collins. Like, why? I get that we need defenders, but why? Why Nathan Collins, huh? Why Nathan Collins? That for me is the biggest thing. Biggest question mark. And in some very random news, music artist and Arsenal fan Justin Bieber on Instagram watching the 2-1 win over Real Madrid at Santiago Bernabéu last night. The more you know. The more fucking you know. Who cares? Justin Bieber, you know. Donate about 50 million for so we can sign someone. Then we can maybe talk. Other transfer news include actually something very interesting regarding Zubimendi. Regarding Zubimendi, here it is. Arsenal apparently are very confident. That they're gonna get the deal done by early June for Zubimendi. That is the thing. Negotiations are progressing really well to make the midfielder their first signing of a busy summer. It looks like the first signing actually might be Zubimendi, ironically enough. Whether it's gonna come to fruition or not obviously remains to be seen. But yeah, we will have to wait and see. We just have to sit tight and be patient in that regard, because we have been targeted Zubimendi for quite some time. It's weird that they had to lie in January or February saying that the deal is already done, but I guess that's the media. They need to get some hype on off Arsenal when we didn't sign anyone in that regard. That was complete utter bullshit, but hey, I guess it is what it is. This is the one for every Arsenal fan. Manchester United have added Dan Ramsdale to their list. It looks like United want to get relegated, I guess. Lol. Imagine Ramsdale goes to United and United gets relegated from Premier League. To be honest, this season they're not that far off, so maybe next season is the one. Maybe. With Ramsdale in goal. Who knows? They desperately want to replace Onana as well, and it doesn't look like it's gonna happen because nobody wants to buy Onana, because apparently United want 40, 50 or something like that million. What else is here? Saliba. Something about Saliba. Arsenal are aware of Real Madrid's interest in Saliba. Well, would be shocked if they were not, let's be real. But remain confident they will be able to reach an agreement for a new contract. That's according to The Athletic. So it looks like there is a possibility that Saliba actually might extend his contract. That would genuinely be music to my ears in that regard. Like, writing off the long-term future would actually be quite fantastic in that regard. I wouldn't be utterly against that, I'm not gonna lie. Ramsdale, a joke as he deserves to be with the theater of comedy, dude. Just wait, if he signs for Spurs, you know, then you know it's really nuts. Really nuts. Victor Gyökeres's agents were in England in April for meetings and talk. It's still April. How you can say in April? Give us some dates, huh? Albert is a long-term admirer. He retains family interest in Gyökeres, and he is still on Arsenal's radar. Apparently, Semenyo is wanted by quite a few clubs, above Arsenal, United, and Al Nassr, Cristiano Ronaldo's club. The issue with this is they want about 67 million for him. For 67 million, no thank you. Genuinely, no thank you. Here we go, remontada and everything. Real Madrid have announced the roof will be closed for the game against Arsenal tomorrow night. That was yesterday, obviously. The Arsenal fans had the perfect response. Rice cooks better when the lid is on. Okay, swiftly moving on. Well, fuck's sake, wrong button, misclick, my bad. Obviously, before the second leg, there were quite a few Alaves fans, Atletico Madrid fans who were trying to rile Real Madrid with the Arsenal scarves and kits as well, which is kind of nice. Anyways, anyone wants Naipan at Arsenal? Anyone? I don't, but hey, it is what it is. But according to Fabrizio Romano, Aston Villa are advancing in talks to sign Sven Naipan. Negotiations are underway, and Villa presented their project weeks ago. Talks ongoing to win the race over Man City, aka Girona to some extent, and Arsenal in this regard, of course. Anything else? Oh, this one was nuts. Despite being linked with Gyökeres and other players, Mikel Arteta has settled on Arsenal's #1 striker target this summer. It is RB Leipzig's forward Benjamin Šeško. Obviously, don't take this too seriously because the source is El Nacional, that are not that very reliable, but hey, it is what it is. People talk about this stuff, so I guess we have to take that for granted. Semenyo, 65 million Bournemouth wants for Semenyo. How nuts is that? This is a good one. Luis Enrique apparently fears Desiree Doué could have his head turned by the Premier League and the riches on an offer. So if you put an offer, that actually could happen. That actually could happen. And of course, according to Fish Eyes, Arsenal are linked with Koundé, but it wouldn't be a transfer window if we were not. Calafiori got a new tattoo. That's from some random news. Maybe that helps him to defend better. Maybe, who knows? But yeah. Schick is available allegedly for about 30 million as a backup striker. Why not? That is about it in terms of transfers and some stuff we have to mumble and jumble about. Anyways, the main thing, football. Obviously, Europa League, Conference League currently is happening. Athletic Bilbao are winning against Rangers 1-0. Sancet scored a penalty right on the stroke of half-time. Spurs are beating Eintracht Frankfurt 1-0. Solanke scored a penalty. Götze has been injured. Let's see what Frankfurt can do. Their attacking is Brown, Bahoya, and Ekitike. Lazio 1-0 up against Bodo Glimt. They were 2-0 down. They need one more goal. Let's see if they can bring that one back. United are 2-0 up against Lyon, which is kind of annoying because I want United to lose, but it is what it is, I guess. Ugarte scored and Dalot has scored. Not sure, genuinely not sure that Lyon will come back from this. Kinda don't believe it. Fiorentina have advanced in Conference League. Betis in Europa League. Chelsea are drawing 1-1 against Legia at half-time. What the hell are they doing? And they were actually losing. I'm not saying anything. I'm genuinely not saying anything. And Rapid against Djurgården, 1-1. Dragon Garden, it is 1-1. So that is that in this regard. Let's see what you are saying in the chat in terms of all the stuff, so we can finish the stream. Big up Kwame, big up. Have a nice evening. Enjoy your time. Gyökeres is better than Šeško. Another news, war is red. If we win Champions League, do you think that it makes easier to get top signings? Yes, easily, 100%, because it shows that we can do it and we can get it over the line. Because we moved there, we should be signing some world-class players already, but I think winning Champions League would give that extra pizzazz. Just by getting into semi-finals, by the way, Arsenal have made 100 million already from Champions League. 100 M's just by getting into semi-finals. So, if we get into the final, it's gonna be more. Bring Naipan, loan him for a few years and sell him for 80 million. Well, Arsenal don't do that, do they? Yeah, Arteta, I know. That tattoo looks decent, but that doesn't make him better defender, does it? I'm saying Fiorentina win the Conference League. Not so sure. I much rather see Betis win it, but hey, that's just my preference. I have a soft spot for certain Spanish teams and Spanish players. Since for Real Betis plays one of my still current favorite players in Isco Alarcón, I'm still gonna support Betis in that regard. Just gonna say it that way. But yeah, anyways, I think on that note, I think we have discussed everything. One thing I need to say. Tomorrow, it's Friday. It's a national holiday here. And I'm not gonna be at home. I'm gonna be home around 2-3 o'clock during nighttime, AM. So there will so tomorrow there is no stream or videos. I'm gonna go out in the morning and gonna be back late night. I'm gonna go relax, chill, have fun, and finally be free. No work, no nothing, no worries, just chill, friends, and all that stuff. So nothing from me tomorrow. Gonna skip one day, but hey, it is what it is. But of course, I'm gonna be back on Saturday. But for today, as I said, that will be it. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you haven't already, smash the like button, smash it, caress it, destroy it, hammer it, however you do it, just slap it. Subscribe if you're new around here, aiming for 500 subscribers by the end of April as quickly as possible. You have been quite fantastic, I'm not gonna lie. We are slowly edging towards as well. What's its face? 1 year of pretty much daily uploads, streams, so that's actually kind of nice. 4 days ago, we reached 300 streams / videos posted on this channel. Today reached 75,000 views, and there was something else. There was something else. Exactly. Pillow with the like button. Exactly. Like, yeah, I think that was it. 447 subscribers in less than a year, which is fantastic. I'm absolutely loving it. 75,000 views, which is phenomenal for me personally. And of course, everything is going off the charts. I absolutely love it. It's been quite nice, quite amazing. Big up to you guys, because none of that is possible without you, is it? Without your comments, without your likes, without your subscriptions, without your ideas for videos. As Nathan has suggested certain videos, we have done it before and stuff like that. So it's been quite phenomenal. But tomorrow I'm gonna take a day off. So yeah, that is what it does. Big up, Nathan. Big up, big up. Thank you for being here almost every single stream as well, listening to me yap about Arsenal pretty much. Big up. Big up. Thank you, and big up. But yeah, for today, I'm signing out. Take care. Stay safe. See you all in 2 days, not tomorrow, on Saturday. And yeah, enjoy your time. Enjoy your Friday. Enjoy your time. Stay safe. And, well, peace.